Well, you can't win them all, guys. Let's check out two less than stellar Dollar Tree Theater movies I picked up recently.
So, the film Scarecrow's Revenge starts out with some people, which we learn is in Viking era times, tending a cornfield, and when they're attacked by what appears to be a scarecrow who is wielding like a scythe, and somebody is attacked. You see some blood spurt onto the corn that they were collecting. Kind of looks like beet juice a little bit, but it is what it is. And then we meet a village of Vikings, and we meet a father who's like the king, who, does not. I just watched 13th Warrior again a while ago. Okay, I mean, those were some impressive Vikings. This guy looks like a banker. I don't know. He does not. At any rate, maybe that's how they looked. So whatever. But kind of a very normal looking guy. He's the king, and he's got a daughter who is kind of not really satisfied with a woman's place in the Viking world, and she likes to train in swordswomanship, I guess you would say. And then we find out that there's like a little power struggle in this village of Vikings, and somebody goes to a witch, and the witch basically curses, puts a curse on someone or on the land itself, and that's why the scarecrows come alive and is picking people off one by one, and eventually it's up to the king's daughter to save the day and fight the scarecrow. Okay, so this is a low budget film, and oh, who did I interact with on Instagram? Somebody I'm new to on Instagram. They reviewed this. Kenny. I'll put the full name down there, but Kenny, he gave it some credit for trying. And I think I made a comment like, "Oh, those fight scenes." Because guys, the fight scenes in this, we're talking slow motion punches. We're talking kicks like where the person, these are people whose foot does not usually go up above their waist. It's like an effort to get that foot up in the air. And he was like, "Yeah, you're right," but he kind of gave it some points for trying, and I guess I will too. Now, I've seen some people on IMDb savage this film, talking about the costumes, the belt buckles and things being not authentic. You know what? I could look past a lot of that. I mean, they tried. It's a little goofy. I mean, the acting's actually okay. It's not too bad. They do a weird thing with the witch, where they morph her face in and out with CGI, and it's not too great. And then later they stopped doing that, I think. I guess one of my biggest gripes is the scarecrow itself does not look like what you see on the cover. It just looks like a big bag of mush. It's not really like a defined face. I guess some of the kills were okay. The blood wasn't always realistic. In addition to the fight scenes being not convincing, there's some like sword work with the Vikings where people get stabbed and like the sword is like a foot behind their back, quite obviously, and they're like, there's like, hey, we'll give them points for trying. It's a nice try at an historical horror film. As far as on like a scarecrow meter, it gets like a 1 out of 5 though. I want that really great Scarecrow movie. I'm a sucker for anything that has Scarecrow in the title, darn it. But, and it's also a tale of, female empowerment, I guess you could say. Okay, the next film I'm going to talk about. I guess I'm going to have to put the title here, because I can't remember. It was a found footage deal. Boyfriend and girlfriend go on a trip. They go to see Stonehenge real quick. The boyfriend films everything. We learn in the beginning of the film that the girlfriend kind of gets annoyed at that. She feels that the camera is almost a third wheel. And then, speaking of third wheels, they pick up her cousin. I forget his name, but the boyfriend's like, oh, good, he brought a guitar. He's very nonplussed about the fact that this kid brought a guitar. And they go on a trip. They sort of set up camp. The boyfriend kind of gets annoyed right off the bat at how close his girlfriend is with the cousin. Like they're like, like right next to each other. Like they're kind of almost flirty. And there's one time where he like actually puts the camera out in front of him and looks at it and goes, what the fuck? Like, what the hell? What is going on here? And, the cousin and the boyfriend kind of annoy each other about how to set up the camp and things. And then once it settles into night, at one point, the boyfriend just walks out of the tent fully dressed and just says, I'm going for a walk. I'll be back. And they're like, what? And he just takes off into the darkness. And later, I think he states a reason why he did that. But then things go out of control and strange things start happening. They get separated. There's lots of panning around. There's a couple different cameras because the cousin's got one too. The girlfriend is like panning around, jump scare. You get that a couple times. Panning around, jump scare. Then she also finds some old footage from the boyfriend where he's like filming everything and labeling it, including like filming her sleeping. It's a little creepy. And there's some of the dynamic with the boyfriend and the cousin in the beginning that they allude to was actually more interesting than the second half of the film, when they got into the shaky cam running around dealing with the possible supernatural occurrences. Yeah, I really didn't like this. I mean, to be fair, like it was after work. Maybe I was a little tired, but wow, this was a bit of a slog. I mean, it didn't bring anything new to the found footage genre, I don't think, at all. And like I said, the boyfriend and girlfriend dynamics in the beginning, which weren't that exciting really, were more interesting to me than the supposed supernatural occurrences that were going on. And yeah, they do stop at a pub on the way there and talk to some locals, and the locals warn them about some legends and things like that. Again, this is nothing. It's not bringing anything new. I guess the acting was okay. I'm trying to think of some positive things. It was a well-made film. I mean, it's just not going to be for everybody. It is very much a shaky cam running around with a camera type of found footage film. It's like a grassland kind of area, I suppose, with like it just looks like you would constantly be damp. Why would you go camping then? I don't know. But so there's some moisture on the lens a lot of the movie. Yeah, it just really didn't work in the end. This one was a rough one. I'm not going to be revisiting this one.
And they wasted a Blu-ray and a DVD on A Night in the Woods. So that's a hard no for me for A Night in the Woods. Scarecrow's Revenge was okay for a one-time watch. I mean, I think some of you might know if you like it or not. Thanks a lot, guys. Later.